Hello and welcome to this week's edition of The Big Money Show, brought to you by the team of Big Financial Services. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and I'm joined by the president, Glenn Cummings. We have a great show for you today. The title of today's episode is Income is the Outcome. Do you have a solid income plan in place for your retirement? We're going to get into what that looks like, what might be missing from yours, and how to make sure you can be confident that you will not outlive your money. Glenn, my friend, great to be here with you as always.
Let's go. We're going to talk about income today.
Yes.
No one needs income.
It's only what everyone needs in order to survive, right?
I mean, are we going to share with everyone this new government program that none of us ever have to work again? Would that be nice?
That would be nice.
I'm sure we get a lot of phone calls, right? And we said, hey, we got a program where you never have to work and you get unlimited income. Wouldn't that be great? Well, unfortunately, folks, it's not true, okay? Many of us that work, we're working to generate an income to support our families. We're working to generate an income to buy a bigger house, right? We're working to generate income to buy that cool new fancy car that looks nicer than my neighbor's car, right? Many of us young families are spending way too much money, right? And we think that when we retire, we're going to be able to continue to spend like that. The only way you can do that is if you have a lot of money in retirement. Right?
Exactly.
So you planning and saving and putting your money in the right investments long term can generate either a happy outcome at the end or a negative outcome at the end. And many times I see people, this is what's really shocking to me. A lot of clients that we have today, they come into the office, they're not driving that brand new car. You know, they're driving a car they've had for 10 years and they're like, oh, it's only got 100,000 miles on it, you know? They're not wearing that really fancy outfit. You know, they're just very low, laid back, humble people. And they bring their investment statements in and I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, these people have so much money, but they're not used to spending it, right? And so in a lot of cases, I'm like, okay, let's see how we can get these people to spend some of their money, how we can generate income that never goes away, right? And there's certain tools and plans that are available for that, but also growing it over time as well. So the smart people that I see are people that today are conservative in their savings years, because the more money that you have saved, the better off you're going to be in retirement. And we can all retire whenever we want to retire, depending on how much income we're going to need. Right? And making sure that income is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to last. It's going to keep up with inflation. We need to have reduced taxes. You know, all of you that are out there that are saving, that we're talking about some of these things, a lot of you don't have a plan.
Right.
You have no plan at all.
Well, what most people have is a lump sum, right?
Yeah,
and a lot of people have this goal of, okay, if I've saved, let's just say $1 million, right? That kind of used to be a benchmark. If I have that, then I know I'm going to be okay. But the issue is it's not about the lump sum, it's about your income. And when you are working, you're used to that paycheck, like you said, you know, every 2 weeks or at least once a month. That paycheck stops once you're retired, and it's now up to you to figure out how to take that lump sum and turn it into that reliable, ongoing, steady stream of income that's going to be able to last you throughout the rest of your life. And there's so many challenges that come with trying to generate that income. What do you typically see are challenges folks face when they try to do this on their own in the absence of having an income plan?
They don't truly enjoy their retirement. You know, they conserve in retirement. They don't spend in retirement. They don't go out to eat as much as they could. They don't travel, you know, because they're always in fear.
Right.
They're always nervous. They're like, well, I've got this big lump sum of money, but how much money should I take out, right? What's going to happen if there's a downturn in the markets? Am I going to lose too much money? And how much can I pull out then? What happens if I get sick?
Right.
Right. So the reality of it is there's a lot of pitfalls in retirement that a lot of us don't even think about. And when you build a proper plan, we're going to include all of those things. We're going to include a plan that makes you feel comfortable knowing, hey, I can spend this much money and it's going to come in guaranteed the rest of my life, maybe through a life insurance company, maybe some form of pension, some type of annuity that can provide the guaranteed income, if not now, but in the future. And then I want to be in the greatest market stuff that's available. I want to be in some great companies, some great equity positions, so my money can grow. Right. And I tell you what, we've done some analysis recently, and we've it's called a back look, or it's a section where you can look at how something's performed over a number of years. It's called a back test, excuse me. So if I can back test and say, hey, if I was in these equity positions with these companies over the last 10 years, where would I be?
Right.
And what's nice is I literally can plug in the number. And I could say, if I've got this much money at this time, how much would it have grown to? And almost every portfolio I'm looking at, we're comparing portfolios every day, because as an independent fiduciary, which is what we are, we have to do what's in your best interest. We want to back test things. We want to look at where your current portfolios are, how much your money has grown. And here's the point. You need to work with someone that's going to grow your money. Because no matter what we say, if I have $1 million at retirement, that's great. But if I have $4 million at retirement, I'm a lot happier, right? So many of us are just too conservative.
Right.
You know, we don't have the proper planning. We don't have the understanding of volatility in the markets like we talked about, which is going to occur, but long term, it always generally will outperform keeping your money sitting in a bank account, right? So a lot of the planning is customized that we do per person, but we want your money to grow. And if your advisor's not getting your money to grow, and they're not doing the proper planning, and they're not looking at taxes and long-term care, all these other things that possibly are going to come our way, you need to sit down with a professional, get a second opinion, give us a call today. We have been overwhelmed with helping folks. It's been such a blessing, you know, right here in Tampa.
Yes.
We're here. You know, I had a lady the other day, you know, she called in and she's like, oh my gosh, you know, I love your show, but I'm all the way, you know, I'm over here in Tampa, and I wish I could visit with you. I'm like, ma'am, we are in Tampa.
Right.
My office is right there. She's like, oh, I thought you were just, you know, this Kristen is some celebrity on TV somewhere. You guys out of New York? No, we work in Tampa. Yes. We're local. Come sit down. Come hang out with us. We have a blast, you know. But I'm one of those kind of advisors that I want my clients to spend their money and enjoy it.
Yes.
Now, if you want to just save, right, and never enjoy your money, I may not be the advisor you want to talk to, okay? Because many advisors don't want you to spend their money, or your money, because they think it's theirs, because they're generating fees. A lot of them are generating fees and commissions off of your money. So if you're spending it, they're not making as much. We're the opposite. We want you to enjoy your retirement. We want to make sure that you, number one, never run out of money. There are planning tools for that. And we want to make sure that your money can continue to grow.
Yes.
Keep up with inflation, keep up with the cost of living. As I mentioned a few shows back, one of my clients came to one of our workshops the other day, and I didn't even see him. We do these workshops at nice restaurants, and a lot of folks, if you come to our office, you can also come to those events. They're right on our website. But he came, and I didn't even see him. He was kind of in the back of the room. And I said, well, we want you to spend your money and enjoy it. And he literally stood up. He goes, I love you, Glenn.
Aww.
And I'm like, and I really didn't see him. He's kind of in the back, you know. And his name's Ernie. I can't mention his last name, you know. But Ernie is so happy. He got a Corvette, you know, a Corvette that he's always wanted, and went to Bowling Green to pick it up. And his life has changed. His retirement has changed. And the primary concern that his wife had was, honey, if you go buy that Corvette or we spend too much money, we're going to run out of money. So she was always in fear of him buying his Corvette, you know, spending that kind of money for a brand new custom Corvette.
Yes.
But the plan we built for him is ironclad. It's going to have those protections in place. Right? It's going to provide him with some growth to his money. We're going to diversify. We're not just going to put everything in one basket. And whenever the workshop was done, I literally walked outside, and half of the people that were in the workshop after the workshop were outside looking at his Corvette. He had the top opened up. He's like, take a seat in there. You know, it was the best time ever. So those are the kind of things I love to share with clients is, you know, we can really enjoy our retirement. We can really and spend our money. We can travel, do all those things we always wanted to do. But let's not wait till we're too old to do it.
Right.
Right. At that time, we may not spend as much. So my plans in a lot of cases have what they call a 10 to 15 year spendable plan. 10 to 15 years. Let's spend this chunk of money. Right?
While you're able and you
While
have the
you're
good physical
able to
health
do it. And they're looking
yeah.
like, Glenn, that's a lot of money. I'm not going to be able to spend all that over the next 10 years. But it's okay because we have this other plan that includes a pension or a guaranteed annuity that's going to provide you with that income when you run out. And no matter what, that's always sitting there ready to turn on for you, right? So if you spend all this first, you're still okay. And most people never spend all that if they invest it properly in great equity positions in large cap companies, which is what I've seen overall the history of all the markets. That's really one of the safest places to be.
Well, what struck me about that story, Glenn, is it's almost like folks need someone to give them permission that it's okay to go ahead and spend their money, but you can't have that confidence to know that you can spend the money during your physically able-bodied years to be able to do the things you want to do if you're not confident that you won't run out later in life. If that's you, if you want some help, if you want a solid income plan in place for yourself, we encourage you to reach out to the team of Big Financial Services. You can call and schedule your time to come in and claim your complimentary written financial plan. 888-503-7408 is that number to call. Or if you'd like to connect online, you can simply scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We've got a lot more to cover on today's episode of Income is the Outcome. Stay with us.
So if you're close to retirement, that's pretty awesome, right? But a lot of people that I meet with can already retire. They think I've got another 4 or 5 year window before I can retire, right? And the reason why is they haven't sat down. They haven't budgeted everything of what they're going to need. You need to sit down with someone that can help you with planning for that retirement. Because once you retire, you lose a job. You know, we've got to make up that job with income from somewhere. And we want to make sure that income can last, right? The rest of our lives. That's a very important thing. So sitting down with a professional, not only me, but shop around. Just make sure that they build a plan for you that you can review and feel comfortable with. Building those plans is very, very important. And that way it gives you some kind of peace to it, you know? And that's what most of us want to know is when can we retire? Well, there's all kinds of different tools that are available out there, and it's working with someone that knows all the tools. Imagine not having to face your retirement journey with those same old corporate solutions like everyone else has. In these economic times, you deserve a fresh perspective that includes personalized income planning and some independent thinking from an experienced fiduciary advisor who will focus on you. Call today for your complimentary review.
Welcome back. You're watching The Big Money Show. I'm Kristen Oakley here with the president of Big Financial Services, Glenn Cummings. We're so glad you're joining us today. If you're just tuning in, today's conversation is all about income. Income is the outcome. Do you have a solid income plan in place for your retirement? And Glenn, we talked about earlier, in the absence of having a written income plan, meaning you know exactly where your income's going to come from in retirement, you know that it's going to last you as long as you live. Without that kind of plan, usually one of two things happens. Either folks overspend and then they do run into that risk of outliving their money, or equally as tragic, they don't spend anything at all because they're so scared. And I love that you help people see in writing, it's okay for you to go ahead and spend this money. It's okay for you to enjoy the things you want to do while you can still do them and be confident that you're not going to run out of money. That's the beauty of what a written income plan can do for someone.
Absolutely. And a written income plan is different for different people. If some people say, hey, I want all my money that I've saved to go to my kids, and you don't spend it, they're gonna spend it. They're gonna have a good time, right? So, you know, but a lot of my clients are like, my kids are okay.
Right.
You know, this is my life savings. This is something I've saved up all these years. and I want to spend most of it and let the kids get what they get at the end, right? So every client, like you said, is different, right? But having a plan that you know exactly. So here's the thing. Many of you that are looking to get Social Security at some point, what you're looking for what age to turn it on, right? So if I turn it on at 62, it's this amount, 65, it's larger, full retirement, 70. The longer I wait to turn it on, the larger the income is going to be in the future. Right?
Yep.
So that's pretty nice. That's a guarantee. You can actually see it, right? So many people that are planning for their retirement, they know what their Social Security is going to be. Well, there's annuities out there that have the same type of unique benefit for a future income. So Social Security is about an 8%, what I call an 8% roll-up, right? To where every year you're going to get that 8% roll-up to that income when you elect to turn it on. Well, there's annuity contracts out there that are very much the same as that. Where you can say, wait a minute, 8% roll-up? Yeah, well, it all depends on the company. Some actually have higher roll-ups, some have less roll-ups, right? So you review all of those companies. But what I love about it is that if I take a chunk of my money and I just put it in, I can look and I know exactly how much money I'm going to get, at what age, what time. I want to see that. I want guaranteed annuities, not ones that are hypothetical, that say, oh, if this does this, if this does. I want to see the guaranteed page. Guaranteed. What am I going to get? What am I starting with? And what am I getting? And that right there is the most powerful thing for most clients because they can see that income can be turned on. Now, in a lot of cases, what clients are doing is they're saying instead of deferring out that income in that annuity,
right?
Why don't I go ahead and just take it and turn on the income now? I don't want to wait for all that income. I want to start spending it now. And by the way, this income's never going to run out, right? It's going to be there for me and my wife as long as we're alive. Right? I think most of these contracts go up to 100 or 115 years old before they're like, we're not giving any more money, okay? But they're lifetime, okay? So I know I'm always going to get the check. My spouse is always going to get the check. And then what we do is we invest the difference in some fantastic large cap top 30 companies. No individual interior fees because I'm not buying a mutual fund, which is over-diversified and very expensive. I'm owning individual equity positions in some of the top 30 large cap companies. And that's where I'm going to just take money from to spend and enjoy, to go out for nice dinners. I've secured that long-term guaranteed income here, right? That I could defer out and let it get bigger if I want, or I can turn it on now and let this other account get bigger because I'm not having to touch that account. So that's just one strategy. We have so many strategies. And the key is people are calling in right now. It's been amazing. For you to actually have a complimentary written financial plan, that's expensive. People out there don't realize it costs me money. I have a whole entire team that builds these. Right? So it's like it's expensive. Take advantage of this while you can because at some point in time, we may not offer this free consultation. Free consultation to review everything, free consultation to build your written financial plan. We also have a separate tax plan, right, to help you with your taxes and mitigating those in the future. And that's something we offer for no charge. Take advantage of those folks, absolutely.
Yes, I was going to say there's a lot of other firms in this area that would charge thousands of dollars to receive this kind of written detail, this analysis, and this written financial plan that you can take with you to be able to see in writing where your income is going to come from. But the team of Big Financial Services would love to be able to offer this to you completely complimentary, but you have to reach out. So we encourage you to pick up the phone and call 888-503-7408, or you're also welcome to connect online by scanning that QR code that you see there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some ways that you can generate income for yourself that is the antithesis of the rules of thumb that are out there. Are you making some of these common income generating mistakes? Stay with us to find out.
I used to sell vacuum cleaners door to door. And my brother-in-law said, Glenn, you can't keep doing that. You need to look at something long-term. I was only 21 years old back then and started working with a life insurance company called MetLife. and really learned how important that type of job was. Working with people, working with retirees, seeing people unfortunately lose their lives, doing death claims. Never really knew about it, honestly. I was too young at the time, and all I knew is I was going to hopefully work for a company that was a big life insurance company. I really didn't understand a lot of those things. But once I actually started working there and I started seeing what the company's all about and all the things it does to help families, it really was something that was really special. My first death claim was a mascot of a pep rally, and he was the principal of a school, and unfortunately he passed away. I was the one that did the death claim, 21 years old. And when his wife came in and we sat down, I could just feel the devastation, not only for her, but for me. And to be that person that's sitting there to do all of this paperwork for her, relieve all the stress and the anxiety she was dealing with at the time, and to say, hey, you know what? Your husband bought this policy for you and for your family and for your kids. And to deliver that death claim check was a very powerful thing. And I realized at that moment, this is something that really can impact families, and been in the business and loved it ever since.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show, where today Glenn and I are discussing the importance of having a written income plan in place for your retirement. We mentioned before the break that a lot of folks out there are making some income generating mistakes. Glenn, that's what I want to ask you about now, because there's a lot of rules of thumb out there that our industry purports as, oh, this is how you generate income for yourself in retirement. And one of the most well-known that I'm sure a lot of our viewers are familiar with is something known as the 4% rule. Can you explain what that is and why it does not work in today's economic environment, why you don't use that with your clients?
Well, because there's no guarantee it's going to work. If you have all of your money invested in the stock market, or these mutual funds or diversified portfolios that are over diversified, right? That 4% rule is a good thing to look at, but the reality of it is there's no guarantee that if you only take 4% that it won't run out.
Right, so the 4% rule basically states that if you have this lump sum, you should be able to take 4% a year out of that lump sum for the rest of your life, and you should be okay. But that's the operative word, right?
Yes, should be okay. Now, here's another strategy that I'm going to share. I probably shouldn't do this. Usually do this in my meetings with clients. Let me share a strategy.
Okay.
So I have $1 million. I'm just using $1 million to make the numbers simple. If I take 4% of $1 million, that's $40,000 a year, right?
Right.
There are some annuity contracts that will provide you an income-based bonus, right? To make that $1 million much higher. And instead of only paying you a 4% payout percentage, will pay you up to 7%. Hang on a second. So wait a minute, you're telling me, Glenn, instead of only taking $40,000 a year, I can now take $70,000 a year? I can take $30,000 more a year of income? Oh, and by the way, that annuity company or that life insurance company is going to guarantee me, based on the claims paying ability of the life insurance company, you want to make sure they're a good company, but they're going to pay me that $70,000 the rest of my life. And even if the money runs out, they're still going to pay me the $70,000 for my wife and I, and it's never going to go away. Hang on a second. Is that real? These are the kind of plans that are available.
Right.
And most people have no idea. Now, here's the negative to the other financial advisors out there, where unfortunately, we get a few calls from them sometimes off our show. They don't like me, okay? Why? Because I'm sharing some things and some secrets that they'll never share. Why? Because if I take that $1 million and I invest it with a life insurance company, we get paid one time, generally, okay? And we've got to service that client the entire lifetime of that contract. Where if you keep all of their money in the stock market at market risk with the fees that they're generating, they don't want to let go of that $1 million because that's generating money to cover their monthly bills, a car payment, right? These other financial advisors don't want you to take that money and put it into something that is guaranteed, right? And I believe it's a conflict, because they're wanting you to keep that money in the market, because as it grows, and the markets do well over time, okay?
Right.
And could you do better in the markets than you could a guaranteed annuity? You could, but it's the could or the guaranteed.
Exactly.
And I want more income now. And then I'll simply take the rest of my money and I'll invest it in some great companies, have full liquidity to spend that additional money. But I know I've always got that annual income coming in no matter what, even if it goes to zero.
Well, and here's the interesting thing that you mentioned about our industry too, is I think another issue is so much of the industry is focused on the accumulation phase. When folks are putting money in, they're contributing, it's growing, and you're trying to amass this sum of wealth. A lot of financial advisors are really good at that part of it, but a lot of advisors out there don't even talk about income planning. Because that takes a different skill set, it takes different strategies like you're alluding to. So I'm curious how you all do it differently. When someone calls into the show and someone's watching right now today and going, yes, I would like that written income plan in place for myself, how would you start building that for them?
Well, basically, we look over their income that they need, right? We look at the income they currently are receiving, pension, Social Security. We're looking at areas that they could possibly save in the future. So, hey, if our home is paid off by year 5, then we can turn on that income source, right? Or, I'm getting this pension, that's going to come in 2 years from now. I'll be able to pull less money from this other investment that you're managing for me, Glenn, to allow that to continue to grow and get bigger. So it's all about building an individual plan for each individual client. You're all different. Give us a call. We'd love to help you. We're right here in Tampa. And boy, I tell you what, we have such a great time. It's so much fun. I love what I do. A lot of people that are in this business, like I said, just want you to accumulate. We want you to spend. Big difference.
Yes.
Big difference.
Well, we want people to be able to spend with the confidence of knowing that they will not outlive their money
Yes.
and they can enjoy your retirement.
Yes,
That's what
absolutely.
it's all about, right?
Spend, enjoy it, and don't worry.
Yes.
Absolutely.
For sure. Well, again, I know that a lot of folks are newer to you, so just remind folks where your office is located here in Tampa.
So my office is located in Tampa. We're in the Highland Oaks. It's a beautiful office complex, Class A building. We got oak trees all around us, big, beautiful windows. We got a restaurant. We got a gym.
Nice. And get your workout on
Get
too,
your workout
right?
in. Come in and visit us. I know you're going to send off whatever your final send-off is, Kristen. You've done such a great job again today.
Well,
Thank you.
It's always good to have this time with you, and we appreciate you joining us. Again, if this is resonating with you, or if you're already working with another financial advisor and they are not having these kinds of conversations with you, it's time to get a second opinion, and the team of Big Financial Services would love to be able to provide that to you completely free. 888-503-7408 is that number to call, or again, you're welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected. We look forward to being back with you next time here on The Big Money Show. Thanks so much for watching.